Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to hop into game number 2 of an incredible TVZ here in the quarterfinals. The winner is going to go up against Vortex. Is it going to be LucifroN that's currently a game up, or will it be Snute who will fight back to take the series to 1-all? I have just consumed enough energy drink that I really don't need to sleep for about the next 3.5 months or so. So let's see how well that translates into a cast. Let's get into Cloud Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 and potentially the last game of the evening here on day number 1 of the Vasacast Invitational. I am JoRoSaR, pleased to be bringing this fantastic series to you. Let's see what our players have to offer us this time around. First of all, introducing in the bottom left-hand corner, what delectable treat of a strategy are we going to see in this game? Can he bring the series back to level pegging at 1-all? Representing Team Liquid, we have Snute. He will be facing off against one half of the Spanish Armada, with the other half waiting in the semi-final. Their fates appear destined to be intertwined, them to team kill each other at every tournament they could possibly attend together. Will it be the same case here, or will his opponent pull one back? Ladies and gentlemen, 1-0 up in this best of 3. It is LucifroN. So that last game, guys, was pretty tense, but LucifroN able to squeeze it out in the end on Antigua. Really good, relentless play. And Snute, basically he tried to snuff out Snute and had absolutely no chance for Snute to counterattack anything. That pair of Banshees was ruthless, and Snute was not able to deal with them efficiently at all. LucifroN microed them back and forth really well as well. Don't forget, he didn't immediately target drones, he got all the queens, and that allowed the Hellions to do a lot of damage as well. And by that point, it's just a bit of a snowball effect, and Snute desperately tried to get out of it. You saw the Roach counterattack towards the third base of LucifroN. It didn't work out too well for him. And LucifroN was able, with his economic lead, just to produce a massive army and crush Snute at the end of the game. However, Cloud Kingdom is a completely different story, and Snute will be looking for revenge. We've gone for a hatch first. He's going to be following that up with a pool. And meanwhile, for LucifroN, we do actually have a barracks down with no gas, so it looks like a 1-Rax gasless expand is going to be the order of the day. There is the SCV to build it, and here is the Marine who might be trying to take out this Overlord, except the Overlord's like, nope, I am getting out of here before stuff gets dodgy. A very wise decision indeed. SCV scout from LucifroN, going to be able to check everything out inside the main base. Sees that no gas has been taken, and that was an extractor trick, so he knows that no gas just yet, no super early Zergling speed. And that's pretty much all the scouting information he needs for right this second. Going to be moving in just one more time to double check, but definitely no at this point. And we've got 2 queens on the way out for Snute. We have a wall-off at the top of the main base here for LucifroN, so any potential drone or Zergling scouts can be denied. Going to be forcing LucifroN to come in, forcing Snute rather to come in with an Overlord if he wants to see what's going on here. And that's because LucifroN's going for a very, very fast third command center. An absolutely gigantic economic opener here from him, and look at this. He's actually looking for the Overlords that might be able to pop in. So unbelievably smart, and there it is. The Marine doesn't quite see it though. LucifroN stationed here waiting, and Snute not pulling the Overlord over. Very, very close there. Really nice early Marine scouting from LucifroN as well. He has such a great understanding of where Zergs would put their Overlords out on the map. Of course, his brother Vortex, a ridiculously high level Zerg as well. So naturally, that kind of thing is to be expected from someone this good. And he's going to send the Marine over there for a second scout as well, just to make sure the Overlord isn't there. But Snute has no intentions of sending this over right now. In fact, does he even know? He doesn't know. He hasn't seen any of the Marines either. So neither player aware that the other is present at that point on the map. We have the factory about to go down and possibly a reactor going down here. Yes, indeed. So reacted Hellions once again for LucifroN here in game number 2. The third command center is about to complete, immediately becoming an orbital command, so he will be able to get a nice economic edge over Snute potentially. 4 Marines going to be going over to try and punish a potential early third hatchery, but will not actually see anything at this base. In the meantime, I like that Snute's where he's putting his creep tumors. He can decide to move towards the third. He can decide to move outwards, or he can put 2 there and 1 over here to connect the creep to a potential third base. Do anything he wants to at the moment. He's got a layer already incoming. Continuous injects, of course, keeping on top of his macro, and a really nice SimCity here. Roach Warren and 2 Evo chambers, restricting the path that Hellions could potentially walk through. And we actually have a second and third factory already coming down for LucifroN, so it looks like mech is going to be the order of the day here on Cloud Kingdom, in contrast to the Marine tank composition we saw on Antigua Shipyard. That group of Marines getting chased back by 3 Queens now, so it's pretty clear that Snute is looking to come and grab his third. Layer about to complete. There we go. This Overlord still here, not wanting to expose itself to any sort of Marines that are popping up in at the top there. We see a tech lab going down on this second factory. Is it going to be for siege mode? I suspect it probably will. Of course, going mech, eventually Blue Flame, going to be pretty useful as well. A scan to take out a couple of creep tumors outside the natural expansion. That's going to be slightly annoying, but not too important at this time, as long as the third manages to go down for Snute. We can see that his creep tumors are actually moving towards a third base location. So these Marines just trying to restrict the creep spread out into the middle of the map, as opposed to towards the third. Layer now Glenn, we have Glial Reconstitution researching. We also have 1/1 on melee, it's important to note, so not on the Roaches. The Roaches will have that +1 Carapace, but not the +1 Acid Saliva. God, that does not sound like a pleasant way to die at all. Acid Saliva. It's like Reptile from Mortal Kombat whenever I hear that. And we see a tank and a couple of Hellions moving out across the map thanks to this Overseer from LiquidSnute. Just going to be checking out everything that's going on in LucifroN's base. We'll see the factories and we'll probably go, aha, meching, I see. And be reasonably happy that he's got a healthy number of Roaches. Siege mode is indeed about to finish up for LucifroN, who's currently at 81 supply and defending his third base. We have got 4 Hellions popping in to try and pick apart these creep tumors. They will successfully do so. A little bit slow, but they will get there in 1 scan in the end. So all those active creep tumors getting taken out there. Yes, there we go. Very nice, using the destructible rocks for a little bit of leverage. And oh no, we have a massive number of Roaches coming into the third base location. The SCV's trying to stop them from getting to the tanks, but the tanks are being targeted down. The repair not quite enough. So many tanks going down. This is not what you want as a meching player, for your first couple of tanks to disappear. Even if these Roaches die, the damage they've done to the tanks is pretty huge right now, and they're picking off SCVs for good measure, and Hellions as well. Roach is extremely good, of course, against both of those units. We now have a siege tank on the high ground for LucifroN, trying to ward these away, but they can't actually reach where they are at the moment. Going to try and pick apart this bunker. 4 Hellions now, 5 Hellions attempting to pick off the rest of these Roaches. The Roaches just do so much damage to them, though. They will eventually be able to pick them off, but at cost of a couple more of those units. So as it currently stands, the siege tank count has been reset to 3 for LucifroN. Really nice little attack there from Snute. Number of workers killed total, 14-0 so far this game. Snute doing his very best to get back into the series and try and draw at level pegging. Double Armory coming up now for LucifroN, and we have a 4th base also simultaneously for LiquidSnute. So all quiet on the western front as it currently stands. These Roaches are really just lurking with intent. Just waiting to see if there's another opportunity to go into the third base. The Hellions are like, nah, not on my watch, except they do approximately a pinprick worth of damage to the Roaches. This siege tank's going to be incredibly more useful in that regard. Going to be heading back to heal up just a little bit, and we're actually already going up to high. We've got the +1 missile attacks now on the way, as well as +2 Carapace. So mixing links into the composition, entirely plausible with that +1 melee attack as well. We have a group of Hellions coming in now towards the 4th base location of Snute. What will they be able to get down? They're actually trying to take apart this Queen at the moment, surrounding the Queen on all sides, and will successfully take it out. But that delay has allowed the Roaches to come through, and therefore no drones are going to get roasted. Oh, I take that back. A couple from the high ground, but not too many. Very nicely moving most of the drones away. And we have another base coming out for Snute here in the bottom right-hand side, as 2-2 is now on the way. Oh, pardon me, 2-1 rather. That's actually Infernal Pre-Igniter, otherwise known as Blue Flame, is on the way for Caronte's LucifroN. So getting them upgrades, churning stuff out. We are now up to a total of 5 factories in the main base, and LucifroN is really looking to try and turn the screw and make a massive mech push at some point soon. Needs to be careful though, he's only on 120 supply at the moment, and a lot of mech players tend to wait till about 150, 160 when you can get the death ball kind of composition, and that's a lot of tanks here. So If Snute can somehow flank this and pick off the tanks from behind, that would be disastrous for LucifroN. However, if LucifroN sieges the tanks in a fantastic position and only engages Snute from one direction, this would be great news for him. Here we go, the 4th base now under siege. One of these queens might go down. No, Hellions instead are going to be picking apart the drones. They're running away too, and a lot of roaches popping in. Is Snute going to be setting up for a flank? It doesn't look like it at the moment. Does LucifroN know about the bottom right base? He also does not. No additional attacks as far as I can see happening elsewhere on the map. No activity on the minimap except for this Overseer, which for some reason... Oh, that's like the Eye of Sauron down there, but let's not worry too much about it. The hatchery just goes down. There's too many tanks in this position, and Snute not able to set up a counter. I think he's going to have to back off as it currently stands. Snute technically maxed out at the moment, 199, and here we go. He's actually moving straight, and he was waiting for a large number of roaches to pop in, and he's going ultras behind this as well. Could he actually crush this from LucifroN and take it to 1-all? He's now up to 171 supply versus the 115. Yes, he's lost a hatchery, but the hatchery is about to get remade, and the number of roaches still on the field is a lovely grand total of 28. The current worker supply is 87 to 74. Both sides have been able to drone out without too much hassle, because aside from that 4th base just getting taken up from LucifroN, there hasn't really been too much external harassment going on in this game so far. So here we go, the counterattack with the roaches against the 3rd base location. What does LucifroN have? Can he actually hold this? The siege tank count is 6, so respectable if he can get them all in one location. There are only 2 at the 3rd base, though. There are some also defending the natural. He's getting some Thors as well. And some Hellions now moving in towards the bottom right-hand side. A lot of drones here being made very quickly into a lot of spine crawlers. So that's going to be very useful in defense. But all the remaining drones do actually get roasted as well. And oh dear, those Lings do not look like they are happy chappies right now, as they get absolutely mopped up. Okay, and every single drone in gas also moves out. Hellions need to move away now, need to head back to base. Exactly, but the roaches managed to catch a couple of them off guard. Another couple of Hellions moving towards this base. Snute has basically expanded everywhere, and he's asking LucifroN, look, are you actually going to attack me with anything other than Hellions? Because my bases are going to be completely fine. Great wall off there with the Queen. Nice diligence to make sure that wall off is there even into the late game. 4 Hellions now into the 3rd base location. Oh my god, they're lining up! They're lining up, and a decent number of drones go down there. Oopsie daisy. But Snute still ahead, 197 to 151 supply. Workers killed now 30 to 14. And just to give you an idea, Snute still has 84 workers. So yes, those look good, but he can just continue droning up behind this, or even just making Ultralisk. We have another bunch of Hellions coming into the 4th base location. More drones getting fried, but he's going to stay comfortably above 70 drones no matter what. And now the Ultralisks are revealed. Hero Overseer is still invisible inside the main base of LucifroN. Be very, very quiet. And he's been able to check out the tech and stuff that's coming out all game long, which has really been quite useful for our Zerg player here. LucifroN back up to 160 supply. Let's see if he can make something happen. Some more Hellions moving into the 3rd, but unable to kill more. So still at 38 workers killed, which isn't too bad, adding 1 or 2 more, but 75 workers remain for Snute, and he's feeling perfectly comfortable. More and more Hellions popping out here from LucifroN, and that is not the kind of engagement he was looking for. Jedi mind tricks coming out from Snute here as LucifroN walks straight into the loving, tender embrace of those Ultralisks. We do now have a pretty decent mech army, though. While we were speaking, there was a 2-1 upgrade here for the mech. Let's take a look. We actually have 1-3 upgrades for the Roaches and 2-3 upgrades on the Ultralisk. So pretty decent upgrades for Snute as well. And we are going to be seeing Ultralisk drops, ladies and gentlemen. Ventral Sacks. And here we go. We're going to be dropping on top of this mech army. Can the Thors kill off these Overlords in time? It doesn't look like it. The anti-air might be insufficient here. And everything getting dropped on top. Will this be the defining moment of the battle? Let's watch the supplies. Snute currently at 160. LucifroN also at around 160. The DPS from the Terran is impressive, but the Ultralisks are just soaking up so much damage. The tanks, though, near the Planetary Fortress are actually doing an amazing job right now of staying alive. But the Ultras are now on the SCVs, and LucifroN is plummeting in supply. He's gone down to 92, and there are still Ultralisks left over. 2 tanks and the Thor might be able to save this Planetary from going down. Additional links popping out here so close. Yes, the Planetary gets saved, but 94 supply versus 146. Once again, LucifroN 50 supply behind. Great hold at the Planetary, and now we have even more drops coming in. It looks like These overlords are going to be popping in around the southern side and moving up to drop in the natural, yep, at the same time as an attack moves towards this base here. And I think that kind of multitasking this late in the game might be a bit too much for LucifroN to handle on sub 100 supply. Let's take a look at what the army compositions are like at the moment. 1 Thor, 7 tanks, and 7 Hellions against 2 Ultralisks and 42 Zerglings right now. But look, 11 Ultras on the way, and the Greatest Spire is morphing in as well. This might end up being a matter of time before Snute wins game number 2. And here we go with the drops into the natural expansion. That mech army is very slow moving out, and watch as the Ultralisk and everything else potentially move towards this 4th base. It's quite well defended, actually. Planetary, 2 tanks and a Thor, nothing to be laughed at. But a lot of units now sieging up the production structures here and drawing this army further and further away from the 4th base. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. That's a pretty decent bunch of Ultralisks. That's I don't even know what I would call them. A bunch seems a little bit too nice. More like a death of Ultralisks are popping out here. And this planetary stands absolutely no chance whatsoever. Snowball's chance in hell. And that, my friends, is not very big at all. Can he get the 3rd base as well? It's an orbital command. Significantly less BB than a planetary. Everything gets lifted up. And LucifroN on 100 supply to 200 still. Frantically coming back with the army. But he is being sieged up at the 3rd. A lot of supply depots getting taken down as well. And these Ultras effectively have free reign. Look at these additional Overlords moving out towards this location, potentially trying to sneak in with some Lings at the natural as well, while this army is engaged with the Ultras. But Snute is happy to sit back at the moment. And here's why. These Hellions are going to get picked off, and if we take a look at the income tab, LucifroN is effectively not mining. There's very little he can actually do right now to try and stop Snute from taking the game. He knows the bottom right is up, but he's also seen the Spine Crawlers. Hellions will not do good against that. And he's unable to kill off drones anywhere. 68 to 28 workers in Snute's favor, and I suspect it's now a matter of time until LucifroN is forced to tap out. More SCVs being transferred, but note that LucifroN is not making any more SCVs. He's stopped at 28, so he might be making more command centers, but he doesn't have the SCVs to mine from them right now, and that's actually a big problem. Another massive drop, more Ultralist drops coming in on top of this mech army. This will clean up a lot of siege tanks, ladies and gentlemen, and even moving towards the rest of them at the back as well. This is a massacre. LucifroN will be forced to tap out. We'll be seeing a GG shortly. The 3rd base is left untouched, but it doesn't matter because the army is completely and utterly decimated. More Lings as well in the main base. Creep getting dunked everywhere. GG! And Snute ties the series up 1-1.